Welcome, friends and fans, to another edition of GalaxyCon Live, where we are bringing the convention experience directly to you. And today, we are going back to Haddonfield by way of escaping from New York with two fantastic guests. And now's the time for all of you in our chat room to begin typing in your questions for them. Immediately after this session, you will have the opportunity to talk to them directly through our private chat options, as well as shop our selection of personalized autographs, all of which are available now at GalaxyCon.com. So without further ado, let's wish upon a Starman and bring them out. Our first guest is a filmmaker and actor whose body of work in front and behind the camera includes Escape from New York, Tap, and The Last Starfighter. Today, he joins us to discuss his career, including the role and return to the role of the original Michael Myers, a.k.a. The Shape. Please welcome Nick Castle.
Hey there. How you doing?
I am good, boss. How are you holding up?
I'm just fine, thank you.
Oh, thank you so much for joining us here today. Again, big fan of your work. Again, Last Starfighter, one of the seminal movies of my generation. And for whatever it may be worth, I adore Tag, the assassination game.
Oh my God, there you go. Well, see, you're a real true blue.
Absolutely. It was a joke between me and my friends. We would just randomly throw like paper balls at us like, hey, you got to move fast if you want to play Tag, the assassination game. So absolutely. Well, Nick, thank you so much for joining us here today. This is an absolute pleasure.
Well, thank you very much. It's great to be here. I can't wait to talk to all these fans and answer their questions and see my old pal, John Carpenter, once again.
Indeed. And speaking of, he is a director, screenwriter, producer, composer, and occasionally an actor himself. His body of work includes classics such as Escape from New York, The Thing, Big Trouble in Little China, and much, much more. Today, he joins us to discuss his career, including Halloween. Please welcome back John Carpenter.
Yo! Thank you, Nick. Thank you very much. How you doing, guys? I see the hat and the mask behind you, Nick. Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
That is the mask from the 2018 Halloween. This is the one that I wore for my little cameo appearance.
Yeah, right. Very good.
There you go.
All right, good. Yeah, this whole thing. I do like the affectation of that. That's really good. John, how are you? How have you been?
Fabulous. Can I just say fabulous?
Fabulous is always good. Well, John, welcome back. Glad to have you here a few weeks ago. Glad to have you back, Nick. And as always, we here at GalaxyCon are looking forward to the day when the world does get back to normal. We can once again host guests like you at our physical stages and get you back in front of your fans. In the meantime, we have this electronic forum. So awesome to have you here. Our team is going through the chat room right now, pull out questions. In the meantime, I'll just throw this out. How did you guys first meet?
Where was it? Do you remember?
Well, I know where it was, but I don't know exactly what date it was. It was, we both went to University of Southern California Film School, and we were in some classes together.
You remember what class we met? Was it 290? 310?
You know, I remember us more in 310, but yeah, it depends. I might have been like one semester ahead of you, and I still am kind of one semester ahead. I'll always be a one semester ahead of you. Yeah, we met, but we really didn't work together. I don't believe, like in these little films that we would do until we did The Resurrection of Bronco Billy.
That's right.
Which went on to win an Academy Award.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Starred, let's give a shout out, John, if it's okay with you,
do it.
To our star of that movie, Johnny Crawford, just passed away, had COVID. And so we like to say to all his fans that may be out there, just how much we appreciated his work on that. He was fantastic.
It's. I remember I saw it several years ago, and it's a very sweet short film. It really is. It's a nice little love letter to the westerns and the myth of the westerns. And I think for a student film, or was that after you guys had gotten out of school? It was still a student film.
Student film.
Nick was the cinematographer, and a lot of it wasn't out of focus. A whole lot of it.
Yeah, that's right. John was my assistant cameraman. So that's and I kind of, when you think about it, I kind of started him in the business.
That's it. Yep.
So it's your fault.
Yep.
Well, let's flash ahead then to, because as I understand it, Nick, I think you were just sort of hanging around the set of Halloween, and then that's when John decided to get in the suit. Is that correct?
Not quite.
Okay. All right.
Tell them, Nick.
Okay, well, here's how I remember it. Maybe John has another better version, which is he was shooting this movie actually close to where we both lived, down in Hollywood near Laurel Canyon, and I just knew he was shooting, so I went down when they were doing pre-production at the set and walked around and said, "Hey, John, you know it'd be fun for me to hang around the set." Because I wanted to be a director too. John got out of the gate very fast, but I was still trying to figure it out. And he said, "Well, here, put on this mask and you'll be here the whole day, and I'll give you $25 a day. You'll be here for the whole shoot." I said, "That's perfect." It was that complicated, as far as I remember.
That was it. And he was a really overpriced actor. Did a fabulous job for us.
Well, absolutely, and of course, the Michael Myers isms, as it is, the blankness of the character, and just that those little moments of like the nod and the curiosity and everything else. It's become iconic, like so much of the film. Nick, did you get a chance to work with Pleasance at all?
Not really. He was doing his shtick on the other days, and
yeah.
So I didn't get to really. I don't remember meeting him or talking to him, but I know John had a good relationship with him.
Didn't you, the night of the rain, when you jumped up on the car, he was there that night? I enjoyed that night so much. Can I just tell you that?
The night John purposely tortured me.
Oh, yeah. So that was you unmasked, jumping on the car and all that?
That's right. In the middle of the night, it was about 40-something degrees, and John put on the rain machines, and all I had on was that gown and some underwear. It was cold. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. Was that your hand to like smash it in? No? Okay. All right.
We had a stunt hand.
Okay. All right. Yeah. But it was definitely make it out in the rain. So, wow. Well, like I said, gentlemen, history speaks for itself with the legacy of Halloween and what you guys put together with the means you had for it. And it will go on forever, and it will be it's still a thrill ride. So as a fan of it, I thank you both for what you did in that series. And then let's move on a little bit to Escape from New York, another of your guys' collaborations. Nick, of course, wrote one of my favorite musical numbers of all time in any film.
That was an interesting way that came about. Nick had to write. We had everything's coming up roses, wasn't that it? What we had right. Originally, and Nick had to quickly come in and rewrite that to Everyone's Going to New York, and he did. It was brilliant. Kill a priest with a fork is my line in that song.
Yeah, I remember Deborah Hill, the producer, our dear friend, and collaborator, of course, on many of these shows. Came up to me and said, "Nick, I thought I had the rights to Everything's Coming Up Roses." So we actually sang. What you see on screen is us singing Everything's Coming Up Roses.
Yeah.
But in post-production, we had to redub it because we didn't have the rights. That's how I remember it, at least.
Yep, that's right.
So I had to not only write new lyrics to the cadence. It was brilliant. Let me just say. Right to the cadence of that song, but also try to get the words to look like they're the words coming out of the mouth, which are totally different words. So I had to. That's
not easy, and by any metric. So, and it definitely speaks for itself. And I was telling Nick earlier that's one of my dream cosplay groups to do that whole production and yeah. So. And again, so how did and Nick? I think you worked a little bit in the scripting stage with New York as well.
I did, and John was very kind to bring me in as a collaborator during he had already written the original script. Well, John should tell you about that.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell him, John, about how the...
Yeah, I wrote the original script, and I brought Nick in to write the jokes.
Okay.
He's a very talented writer.
And it was real grueling. I would come over to his place. We would sit around his pool and go, "What do you think about this?" Okay, here's a joke.
Yep.
How about having a cab driver in it? It's New York, for God's sake.
Yeah, you wanted Mickey Rooney to play the cab.
That would have been cool, though.
I got on the phone with him. Oh my God!
Oh, really?
Oh, no! Life's too short for Mickey Rooney. I mean, he's a nice man, but my God, he wouldn't stop. You know, he's Mickey Rooney.
Yeah.
Borgnine knocked it out of the park, as well as everybody else in those roles. And Harry Dean is just brilliant in everything he does. And just, yeah, that's one of those. I consider Escape from New York a perfect movie in the sense that everybody just fits. Everybody just fits on those roles. Everybody just is on. And again, that speaks for itself too. So, as a huge fan of Escape from New York, thank you both, really, for the enjoyment and the years of enjoyment afterwards. And I have the Escape from New York board games somewhere back here. So,
now, I'd like to point out that Nick Castle was not in Escape from New York, and that's what makes it that a superlative movie.
Well, that means so John doesn't even know that I was in Escape from New York. I was the piano player in the show.
Yeah.
Come on. If you notice, whatever movie that I have some relationship with John in, those are basically his best movies.
Oh.
Except for I had nothing to do with They Live or The Thing. How come? How come you didn't drag me in there, John?
Well, I met you downtown scouting locations on They Live.
That's right.
You were involved with it.
Yeah, okay.
all right.
There was no mask for me to put.
Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for indulging me. I think we're going to go to our audience questions, so let's go ahead and roll into them. And our first one comes from Christy. Ooh, what was the first horror movie you can recall ever watching?
For me, it was a movie called It Came from Outer Space. It had a space monster who came down here and was actually a good guy. So,
yeah.
What about you, Nick?
Ooh, I think the first thing I saw in a theater was The Beast with Five Fingers.
Ooh.
And it was with Peter Lorre, and it was a disembodied hand to crawl around and try to strangle you.
Yeah.
I had to watch. I realized then and there I hated horror films because I left the theater. I was so scared.
Oh, wow. Christy, thank you. Fun one. What's next? Here's one from Lynn. Oh, besides horror, what other genres do you enjoy?
For me, it's westerns.
Yeah.
But for Nick Castle, I believe it's musicals.
That's very true. My father was a choreographer and did a lot of the classic movies of the 50s and 40s and 50s, even 30s, with like Gene Kelly and Judy Garland. So I grew up in that world and I loved it.
Nice. Very nice. What, any particular movies we'd know that your dad worked on?
Let's see. The ones that are most famous are like Judy Garland, Gene Kelly, and Summer Stock, and Royal Wedding with Fred Astaire.
Ooh.
And then we got into TV and did all, if anybody remember, well, you're all too young, but all the Andy Williams shows, the Nick Castle dancers would come out and prance around.
Ah, nice. Very nice. Lynn, thank you. That was a fun one. What do we have next? Here's one from Hans. If you had the chance to create a horror film with anyone dead or alive, who would you collaborate with?
For me, it'd be Boris Karloff.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Me too.
What period of Boris? We talking Frankenstein era Boris, or maybe later on?
A little later, when he's more
Yeah.
mature. A little later.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of his Inspector Morse, the series he did, but he's the sleuth. So Hans, thank you, good one. What do we have next from Mike? What's the one film you most enjoyed making?
For me, it was Halloween. It was fun and easy. Ooh. What about you, pal?
Halloween. Well,
and you got $25 a day.
I actually, that's why he had me in the mask, because I would go up to him and say, John, do a close up here. Do a close up. John, you know that Panaglide thing that they have now? I have this idea. No, the one that I enjoyed doing the most was tap, because I got to do something kind of sociologically interesting for me, you know, getting back all those old tap dancers and putting them on the screen before they all passed away, which they all have, unfortunately. And or maybe some have left, but I enjoyed that quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm a big Gregory Hines fan, and of course Sammy. So you got just those two alone must have been a treat. And Mike, thank you. Great question. What's next? Here's one from Christian. Do you have any advice for amateur filmmakers?
Well, if you want to be professional, you got to just keep working is the big thing. Make movies. Keep working. Keep doing it. That's my advice. Now, Nick, if you get in touch with him, I just disappeared from the screen.
You did?
I blacked out.
I see you.
Blacked out. I'm back. If you'll get in touch with Nick personally, he can get you in the show business.
Well, that's kind of what I was going to say. But in reality, here's how I got into show business. I'm pointing to Hal. Yeah. No, pat him on the back. No, here's what you do.
Now you've got to get a hold of Nick Castle. And that'll open all doors for you.
Well, here's what you can do. Here's what my experience was. You go to film school, you make friends with everyone you can. One of them is smart enough to get going on his own pictures and brings you along, puts a mask on you, and you're on your way. So don't forget that those relationships you make at the early stages of your career are really important. But the other thing that was important for us back then, because we didn't have all this digital shit to make movies, is writing. You know, you have control of that, and that's always a good thing. You can, always sit down on a typewriter or a computer and start getting those juices flowing.
Yeah,
he's absolutely right.
There you go, Christian. Thank you. Good one. What's next? Here's one from Danny. If you could only keep film or music, which would you choose and why?
You're up, Nick.
Ooh, that is a tough one, my friend. I got lean towards music. Yeah.
I'd go music. I say the Beatles. That's what I would keep.
But the idea is the question. If the question is, it's not just what group or what film.
Yeah, it's
just the whole genre.
Oh, all music. Oh, hell
yeah.
Yeah.
Music.
You're right.
Yeah, there you go. All right, Danny, there you go. Yeah, what's next? Here's one for Robert. If someone gave you a blank check to remake a film of your choosing, which, I won't say which old project would you revive, and not necessarily your own, if you could remake anyone's previous film.
Anybody's previous film.
Yeah.
Citizen Kane.
Yeah, that sure stunk up when it first released.
I don't know. What do you say, Nick?
Well, I don't know, but in terms of the movies that I did, the ones that I would remake are I'd redo the effects on Last Starfighter so that they were up to date, and I would take the script from Mr. Wrong and not allow the studio to screw it up.
Very good. Very good.
Sorry.
Honest answers from Nick Castle, ladies and gentlemen.
John, did you think of one or just?
My own movies? I don't want to remake my own. I can't even watch my own movies.
That's fine. Absolutely fine. Robert, there you go. You got it. What's next? Here's from Woody. What was your favorite Halloween candy as a kid?
Oh, dear. Wait. Chocolate. No. Chocolate covered peanuts was my favorite candy.
Goobers?
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Well, Halloween candy, does it have to be quote unquote Halloween candy, or can it be whatever you got on Halloween?
Yeah.
Snickers.
Oh, yeah.
Snickers, good. Those little Snickers you'd get.
Yeah, I agree.
Little chunky ones. Nice. There you go, Woody. Don't forget to brush between meals. What's next? From Kai. If you could do a crossover with any other horror universe, what would it be? So I assume they're talking about Halloween. So if you could combine Halloween with, say, Hellraiser or some other horror franchise.
I have no clue. Wow. Nick knows.
I know this one. Let me see. Yeah, I think John should do a crossover between The Thing and Halloween. So Michael Myers can shift shape. Get it? He always has a mask on, but he could be a dog. He could be someone else. This is brilliant, John.
That's good. And I think that you ought to do a crossover between Tap and Dracula. What do you think?
I love that. I think they did it. I think it was Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Maybe. There you go, Kai. I'd still like to see Snake Plissken just screw up anybody else's genre universe. That's just, yeah. What's next? From Jeffrey. What do you think makes a good... You know what? I'm about to back this up a little bit. What do you think makes a good movie?
What makes a good movie?
Yeah.
One that's fun to watch, one that you enjoy, one that gives you something back emotionally. That's what I think.
Well, yeah, but I would actually answer the original question, the horror movie, because John just does such a great job of knowing how to pace things, where to put the silences and when to do the scares. It's like it's a real talent to understand people's motivation and feeling, what's going to drive the story. So,
yeah.
Thank you. That's nice. Thank you.
There you go. Good one, Jeffrey. Thank you. Hey, what's next? Here's one from Thomas. If you could turn any classic movie into a horror movie, which one would it be and why?
Citizen Kane.
I'm Charles Foster Kane, and I will drink your blood.
I'll say Meet Me in St. Louis. Great horror film.
Oh, yeah.
You just need, the shape in there, and suddenly it's a horror film. Trying to kill all those people, try to kill Judy Garland and her family. That's it.
There you go. All right, Thomas, you got it. What do we have next? From Miles. Can we expect another movie with the both of you anytime soon?
Ooh, that's great. Are you working on something for me, Nick?
Well, yes. Well, we're both working on Halloween. This is where we give the plug, John. Halloween
Kills. Coming soon to a theater near you. We're both involved. I'm doing another cameo, which without me. Oh, there he is. Oh, there he is.
Get up.
Oh, man.
That's symbolic of my career. That always
always in your way.
What was the movie that the studio interfered with? Mr. Wrong?
Mr. Wrong with Ellen DeGeneres.
Wow.
Well, it was a black comedy, but every time we got to doing the black part of the black comedy, they got scared of it, and it turned into this kind of, when you take the black out of a black comedy, you don't have much left.
Yeah.
That's how I felt after the end of it.
Yeah, I got the idea it was supposed to be creepy, stalkery sort of guy. Just some guy does stupid stuff to himself. Yeah. I can see your frustration. And Miles, thank you. Fun one. And a reminder to our audience, if you would like to chat with our guests like I am now, or purchase a personalized autograph, you can sign up at galaxycon.com. And let's roll another one. From Brady. Which, if any, of the more recent horror movies gets it right?
Well, David Gordon Green horror movies gets it perfectly right. He's a really talented director. And I think he's done a great job with the Halloween franchise. I loved Let the Right One In. It's a Swedish film back from a while ago. That's really good. Yeah. I enjoyed it.
I'd second the motion on the David Gordon Green Halloween 2018. That was a tough thing to pull off. Let's face it. You got the classic, and then you're going to figure out how to bring it back 40 years later. And I thought he just did a great job. Good concept, and of course had me in it, so that made it perfect.
Yes.
I really liked Hereditary. Is it called Hereditary? You like that one, John, or no?
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah. I like that one lately, and I like what's his name, Get Out guy is doing.
Jordan Peele.
Peele, yeah.
I think he's doing some good stuff.
Everybody's gone crazy with me here.
Oh,
there, you're back.
Okay. So absolutely there, Brady. There you go, fun one. What do we have next? And here's one from Christian. Is there a music genre that inspires you the most?
Wow. What about you, man?
Rock and roll.
You got it.
As a matter of fact.
You can feel the wind is rising, the truth is here.
Okay, sorry for interrupting.
Not at all.
You were in a band, right? Weren't you in a band? What?
Yes, I was in a band. I was waiting out the 80s with the Coupe de Villes.
But before that, I know you were in a band.
Oh, before the Coupe de Villes? Really?
Yeah.
Spicati, it was called. That was my high school junior college band. With the bass player is now the Dean of Science at the Natural History Museum in New York.
What did you guys play? Did you cover songs?
Yeah, we did. We were like a Neil Young, Buffalo Springfield kind of group.
Okay.
All right. Cool.
How about yours, though, John?
Same thing. We had a college band, high school college band. We covered, this was in the South, so we covered like R&B.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Sam and Dave.
Fair. Right on. Christian, thank you. Good one. What's next? And here's one from Joel. What about practical effects is so much better than CGI?
Well, what do you think, Nick?
That's your question, my friend. You did some of the best practical effects of all time, so let it rip.
Well, look, I don't know if it's better or worse. Here's what I'd say. CGI is a great tool for a filmmaker. You can really use it in incredible ways, but if you overuse it, it looks just like animation. And it takes you out of the movie. So that's what I say.
Yeah.
What does Nick Castle say?
Nick Castle, I think, agrees with the horror master in this regard. I mean, like I said, some of the best stuff still. I mean, as far as, looking at for what John's saying, it's got to be real or else it's not scary. So suddenly, you're like you said, you're taken out of the movie. But the stuff that was done in The Thing was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And sometimes the CGI can match that, but it's just trying to match that. You can almost not get any better than that. So it is a fantastic tool because you can do things that you couldn't possibly do practically.
But you can't overdo it. You can't overdo CGI. Yeah. All right.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed. Joel, thank you. Good one. Here's one from Tommy, and they want to know, did you... I'll ask this question, then I'll have a follow-up. Did you know Halloween would become such a cult classic during production?
No clue.
Okay. My follow-up question, I always follow up this question with this way. When did you realize that Halloween was discovering an audience after its initial release?
Oh, boy. Wait. 1979. That's when I started to see results. I went to New York for something, and some guy took me to a screening of Halloween. I heard all the screaming in there, especially when you set up behind Jamie Lee, screaming. So that's when I knew it had a life of its own.
Yeah, I vaguely remember this, but I think it's true. Going to a theater on Hollywood Boulevard, the week that it opened, and people were in there just screaming their heads off. And I think I remember calling John and saying, "Hey, John, this is working." I knew it worked at least, so I didn't know it was going to be a classic at that point. But it sure was making the audience jump.
I know from my generation when it rolled over on the premium like HBO or home box office as it was known back then, that first screening, and we were all kids, theoretically too young to have really watched it, but that generation didn't care. And then everybody talked about it the next day and playing it on Halloween, and I think that cemented it for my generation a few years later, and then made us all lifers. So very much so. Thank you. Great question. What's next? Here's one from Andy. What do you look to for inspiration when developing horror films or films in general?
I mean, I suppose most of my inspiration comes from my early life. But it just comes out of nothing, whole cloth. My experience, reading, life. That's where it all comes from.
Yeah.
I look to Nick Castle to inspire me every day of my life.
I have to tell him every night before he goes to sleep, just to give him some information on what might inspire him. I think John's right. I think the inspiration is what that word is. It kind of comes out of it's what's kind of magical about art, in a way, if we can call it art. I think that it comes out of all your experience, and then it's kind of, it comes together in strange ways. You could be walking down the street with your dog and suddenly come up with the greatest idea in the world, and you don't know where the hell it came from. It's, but I think it's the people that just get that idea and write it down. You got to write it down. That becomes something.
That's a hard thing to explain to anybody who hasn't created. I mean, you can't describe it.
Yeah,
it just happens.
Yeah, very much so. Andy, thank you. Good question. What's next? Here's one from Shelley. What was the last book you read?
A book on Scientology. I can't remember the title of it. Unbelievable book. Unbelievable. May have been called Scientology. I don't remember. Inside Scientology, my wife tells me.
Okay.
Oh, well, I'll show you the last book I read. First, John will start to laugh. But this is actually now the 60th anniversary of the defeat in Cuba of the U.S.-backed mercenaries. And this is the book that was written by the participants on the Cuban side. So it's fascinating.
Wow.
There you go.
I might have to pick that up because, I would very much like to see their perspective on that whole thing. Yeah.
Can I recruit a few people while I'm on this, John?
Go for it. Tell the audience about yourself, Dick.
We'll let the audience do the questions. Thank you.
Okay, fine.
Thank you, Shelley. What do we have next? Here's one from Manny. Which film was the most challenging to create?
For me, The Thing was rough and tough. That was tough. Not only was the location tough and cold.
Oh yeah.
But But the getting the effects, that was tough goal. What about you, Nick?
I don't know. I would probably say The Last Starfighter, not because it was hard to shoot, but it took a year in post-production to do the effects, because remember that, talking about CGI, that was the first film that tried to do photoreal effects. And so the producers decided to gamble on that without them having figured out how to do all of the software necessary. So it was a long, arduous task with a lot of pitfalls. So probably that.
Fair. Let's say fair. Manny, thank you. Good one. What do we have next? Here's one from Harry. If you could bring a fictional character to real life, who would you choose?
Fictional character into real life. I guess. Oh shoot, I don't know. I don't know. I guess I'd bring in the fictional character that Linda Lovelace played.
She was real though.
Oh, that's right. You're right. I don't know. I don't have. That's a great question. I don't.
Well, I'd love to see Snake Plissken. In a supermarket or something. That would.
Really? I think he's mean ass. He wouldn't like to see him.
Oh, I think it's hilarious.
Out the door.
Just to see him going about his day to day.
Buying toilet paper.
Yeah, that's right. Squeezing the tomatoes, see if they're good enough to bring home to his wife.
Comparing 2 types of refried beans.
Okay. I guess what I would, if a character in a movie, I would want to bring the character that Jeffrey Hunter played in The Christ. I'd want to bring him into real life. I have some questions for him.
Jesus Christ, in other words.
Yeah, I have some questions, a big time question.
Which does beg the question: is he a fictional character to begin with? We're getting into deep stuff.
King of Kings was the movie.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Hunter. Harry, thank you. That good one. What's next?
How did Castle escape having an answer for this?
There you go. Here's one from Steven. Have you ever received any fan art that has really stuck with you throughout the years?
All the fan art has stuck with me. Every single piece.
Yeah, no, for the fans that love Halloween, I get. I showed. Did I show you? I was showing that to the gang beforehand. Here's my cat. Here's my cat, Michael Meowers, who is immortalized by one of my fans.
Now that's something else. That's a great fan.
Yeah, so I've gotten a bunch of stuff from people, and it's always. It really is the sweetest. I keep everything, by the way. It's all around me right here. So it's a lot of fun, and I appreciate their effort.
Awesome. Steven, thank you. Fun one. I think we have time for one or two. From Millie. Oh, what's the best advice you ever received about the industry?
Well, it came from when I did my first union movie. It was a TV movie, and it was working at Warner Brothers. The production manager gave me some great advice about making decisions. Really, really good advice. I'm not going to tell you what the advice is, but it was great advice.
Yeah. Actually, I remember John giving me some advice on how to comport yourself on the set as the leader. And he said, always give them an answer. You can always change it later, but don't seem like you are equivocal, or you don't know, because, there needs to be a leader there, and people need that, a strong anchor.
Yeah.
They need the certainty of the director.
Yeah.
No, fair. That's really good. Millie, thank you. That was an excellent one. What's next? It's from a Thomas. What is your favorite scene from any of the Halloween movies?
Thomas, come on now. I don't know, Nick. What the scenes that you're in is what you're going to say?
Yeah, of course. I don't care about the other ones. Jamie,
I actually like the scene in the first movie when you stab the guy against the wall and you're looking at him and you cock your. I like that scene a lot.
That's one of my favorites too, and it's a big fan favorite. They love that, and they always ask Nick, how did you know to do that? And I said, here's how I knew. John Carpenter was on the other side of the camera going, Nick, tilt your head to the left. Tilt your head to the right. And I had no idea what he was doing until I saw it later.
Wow.
Very nice, Thomas. Good one. Okay, I think we have time for one more. So let's see if we go out a really fun one. And this is going to come from Cammie. Oh, what are your thoughts on true crime shows?
Oh,
they're fascinating. True crime is fascinating. The extent to which human beings will go when they want to cause mischief is just incredible. I mean, come on. Some of this stuff is unbelievable. So, yeah, they're fun.
Yeah, and they're they're cheap, I guess, to do. It's a viewer and a good direct. But if it's not, there's a lot of them now. A lot of them are junk. There's a talent to putting that stuff together. What was the one about the guy who's I can't remember any titles, of course. So and all of them are about a guy that is in jail and wants to get out of jail because he didn't really do it. So, but one of those is one of the best ones. You know which one I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, Tiger King. Right? Yeah, we know that.
I like that one.
It was a good way to pass a month of COVID quarantine. That's for damn sure. I'll give credit for that. Yeah. Cammie, thank you. That was a great one. And GalaxyCon viewers, this has been my time with Nick Castle and John Carpenter, but it absolutely does not have to be yours. If you would like to chat with our guests like I have today or purchase a personalized autograph, please sign up at GalaxyCon.com. And while you're there, please check out our schedule of upcoming events just like this one. Nick, John, this has been an absolute blast. Any final words for our audience before we go?
I have some final words. All of you out there, talk to Nick Castle.
Okay, and all of you, I want you all to be the first in line to go see Halloween Kills. Over 15.
Gentlemen, it's been my absolute pleasure to serve you both today. Once again, thank you for joining us on the GalaxyCon virtual stage. Thank you to our audience for joining us today. And thank you for those great questions. Hope to see you all again soon. Until then, bye-bye, everyone. Take care. And please keep washing those hands.